But welcome to the Guys You Guys podcast, where we talk about Japanese music news and other music related things. And today we got SJ Nix from MAID News Network with us. He's going to talk about the Last Rockstars performance with us today for a little bit. So thank you for joining us, SJ. You want to tell him a little bit about MAID News Network and what you guys do?
Sure.
Hi, I'm Ryan.
Yeah, well, you want to introduce your crew first, maybe?
No, nobody gives a shit about us.
Nobody
Go,
cares.
SJ
They already know us. Ryan's just being a smart ass.
Some people might be watching for the first time, listening for the first time, like, who is that velvety voice that just popped in there?
I mean, even if they were listening for the first time,
God.
half the time we don't introduce ourselves until we're an hour and a half in anyway.
I'm trying to establish some sort of, never mind.
I'm sorry.
SJ Nix, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. These fucking buffoons over here. I don't know. Trying to give you proper introduction and it's getting side railed real quick.
All right. Well, hey, thank you for having us. I'm SJ Nix from BAND-MAID Fans Cafe on Facebook and MAID News Network here on YouTube. Peter Lim and I run the channel, MAID News Network, and we focus exclusively on BAND-MAID. And we do kind of what you guys do, but all BAND-MAID all the time.
It was a good choice. You made a good choice with the bands.
Heck yeah. And the videos are awesome and entertaining. I enjoy watching them myself. I enjoyed especially that one where you went to the shop and got Psyche's flowers and going through how you guys had it made. I thought that was really cool. Kind of showing like where you guys got everything, which was awesome, dude. Tell us a little bit about that experience first before we talk about the concert.
Oh, for sure. So going back to 2018 when they did the Lodge Room, the 2 nights back to back to close out the tour, on night 2 we were all kind of hanging around and wanted to kind of do something special for the band. And long story short, I ended up doing a bunch of crowdfunding and to the tune of like $120 just there in line. And we went and got the pictures printed, the Akane one, please give the gorilla beautiful and wonderful bananas. So that started the crowdfunding idea. And then last tour in 2019, we upsized that quite a bit to the Misa flowers and the towels. And this time around, since we didn't get an actual birthday show for her, I figured, well, let's do something for her this time, or for Psyche this time. And I was looking for $300 because $300 is what I spent on Misa's flower arrangement. And oh boy, did you guys come in heavy. I ended up with $1,500. I was struggling to spend that money. So we ended up with 6 dozen roses. It was 4.5 of the blue, which was dead on with the one that she wears in her headpiece. And then 1.5 dozen silver. That arrangement itself, well, part of it is because it's the time of the year, it's freaking Valentine's Day. So those were more expensive. So that was like, that arrangement itself was like $700 or $650, something like that. And then they do gift boxes and they have these amazing gold dipped, gold trimmed flowers. It's real flowers. They're custom made in the Philippines. They're dipped in 24 karat, encased in like an acrylic, and then again, trimmed with gold. That thing was $150. Then went big time. Again, I got money I got to spend. Got a bottle of Dom Perignon. That was $500 in and of itself.
Jesus.
And then the super high end chocolates that are made right here in Southern California. So there's roses from Argentina, champagne from France, gold dipped rose from the Philippines, and then chocolates right here in Southern California. So it really was a worldwide gift because people from around the world donated.
That's so awesome. Cool.
That's awesome, man. Really cool. Now the concert. How was BAND-MAID at the Last Rockstars concert?
So that was really, really good. My goal that day was to get there about noon. But when I heard from Joe Luna that there were people lined up there, he got there at 8 p.m. the night before and was like 15th in line.
Oh, wow.
Wasn't there?
Nice. The night before?
Wasn't there seats?
No, it's a GA.
It wasn't seats. Oh, okay. Okay.
No.
Right
there was a father and daughter, adult daughter. He was an older dude They got there on Wednesday and were camping out for 3 days.
Wow. That's serious dedication, man.
God bless you. I'm not doing that.
Well, and didn't Yoshiki order some pizzas and have them brought out to the people that were waiting overnight?
You are correct, sir. Yes, the people overnighters got pizza from Yoshiki. The Live Nation crew brought out pizzas, and then in the morning they did Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
That's awesome, man.
That's really
nice
cool.
That's really nice of him.
Yeah.
So the lineup was I was going to do noon, but when I heard this craziness, I'm like, all right, I wasn't going to do a dawn patrol. I was going to do 12 and a half hours for a 20-minute set, but
right.
I ended up there at 6. I woke up at 3:30 and I'm like, I'm not going back to sleep. It's not gonna happen. So I went to work and I finished the editing on the flower shop video, uploaded that, set the release time, and then headed to the venue. I got there about 6:30, and I was 28:30 in line. It was really hard to tell because people come and go.
Yeah. What was the earliest you said?
Wednesday.
Wow. That's crazy. I wonder how many people are in line on Wednesday. I mean, I wonder if they felt like they overshot it. Just 2 people? Okay.
So and the thing that I won't say the dumb thing, but the thing that I don't understand is that guy was 88. So he had early access anyway. And they got there on Wednesday. I'm like, okay, hey man, you do you, whatever works for you. But there was a bunch of Japanese fans that had got there like the night before Joe, obviously. Wow. After Joe got there at about 8, there was nobody until about 4:35 a.m. And then it just slowly started filling in like any of the other excuse me, the voice.
And you got the impression that they were there for the Last Rockstars mostly?
All of those people. I think Joe was the first BAND-MAID guy. Everybody else was Last Rockstars, and
nice.
There was a few BAND-MAID fans that trickled in throughout the day. I'd say there was 20 people there that I know that were there for BAND-MAID, but the absolute massive majority was there for the Last Rockstars. And I get it.
It should be.
Yeah. Especially since it was sold out before.
That's how they sold the tickets. Yeah. That was the advertising. Come see the Last Rockstars.
So even
good for BAND-MAID.
Even with the Last Rockstars like selling out that show, the earliest I guess you could have been safe with was coming at 4 a.m. the day of, then probably for the most part, right? Because you only be like 15th in line or 20th.
Yeah, had I wanted to be, I guess I talked to the 2 girls who were right in front of me, and they said they beat me by about 15-20 minutes. So 5:30, 6 o'clock, I probably would have been another 6 to 8 people closer.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't matter. The female Japanese fans are fucking vicious. So it was so,
but they're short too, right? Hopefully,
you just
look over, they force their way in front. You can see over them.
It was just the line. So we're all lined up in front of the venue, and then they let us in. It was like 4:15. They bring us from the street into the Serpentine to get ready for metal detectors and bag checks. They kept us in that Serpentine for 3 hours.
Wow.
It's like, because it was right at 7 o'clock, they started doing bag checks and the mags. And I'm standing there with another guy, Joseph, who did all the camera work for our live streams. And once they announced, okay, bag checks, if you have a bag, you have to go over here. We're like, oh, cool. All the girls are going to have to go there and do bag checks. We're going to scoot right in. Yes and no. They sent them to bag check, and we headed up to the mags. And those it was like a herd of them. They all bum rush the mags, and they're putting 0 fucks for your personal space. They're like, I'm getting in. And then because we were on the mag closest to the bag check, there was this freaking clog, and the guy's like, everybody take a step back or you're not getting in. So we're getting held up, and we're in a position now where 5 seconds is going to be the difference between a good rail spot or maybe even second row. So we finally get through there, and then we get to the ticket check, and the girl in front of us somehow screwed up her ticket, that it was like zoomed in, it wasn't showing the barcode, and the guy's like, "You need to shrink it down." These people don't speak fucking English, so he's trying to help her. So I'm like, all these little delays, and then I finally get in, and I ended up in the second row.
Wow, that's not bad.
Yeah, no, not bad at all.
Yeah.
But honestly, the entire delay that we're talking about for all this stuff, 30, maybe 45 seconds max.
Yeah.
But it actually made a difference.
Yeah.
So where I ended up was way over to the left, right in front of Akane's kit, which wasn't planning on it, but I'm like, hey, this is kind of a cool place. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of get that in any other BAND-MAID shows.
And that's exactly why once I got there, I'm like, that kind of dawned on me. I'm like, I'm not going to get this type of experience again. So
yeah, that's cool.
And dumb luck, there's two little Thai girls that were behind us in line, and we chatted with them all day long. I ended up standing right behind them, and one of them, who's like maybe 4'10", she let me have her rail spot for BAND-MAID, and then I gave it back to her when we were done.
Oh, that's super nice of her. That's super awesome,
absolutely.
Man.
Solid.
That's really cool to hear. Describe how that stage looked, man. Like, to give the listeners like a visual of kind of what you were looking at.
Right. So, if you're looking at the stage, it was Akane's kit. It was way over to the side on the left.
Mm-hmm.
Then Misa, and then the rest all the way across the stage. The Palladium has a huge, wide stage, but with this, but there's no depth to it because of this huge riser that they have for Yoshiki's drums and the piano. There was probably maybe 6 feet of depth of the stage that the girls had to work on. That's why you don't see Minsho didn't come over to our side. Psyche didn't travel too much from the center of the stage. And I had heard people in the past, like, why didn't they put Akane's kit in the middle? There was no room for it. There was literally no room for kit. It would have been to the edge of the stage. It had to be where it was.
Yeah, I want to shout out the video you posted not too long ago. You can see what SJ is talking about on the Made News Network channel. And yeah, it's tight.
It's tight.
That's so cool though, that the drums were right there in front of you.
This is why in-ear monitors come into play, you know, so it doesn't matter where the drums, hopefully it won't matter where the drums are, and you got a nice clean feed to the monitors and everything. And when the girls came out, because I haven't seen it yet, was it like the normal intro and stuff they did, or they just came out blazing with the song?
So the way they came on stage was, the stage was black, just a little bit of overhead like blue lighting, but it was really, really sparse. It was pretty dark. And then they just quietly walked out, got to their positions, picked up their instruments. The lights slowly came up, and then you heard the intro from now on. And I'm like, oh, this is where we're gonna start. Okay, let's go. I'm like, hey, I know they've been opening these small sets with from now on, but it's kind of like, all right, let's see what we got. And it was good. It sounded really, really good. I could hear Minsho pretty good because where I was, they have the flown PAs, those ones that kind of come down in like an arc. They were right above us, so I could hear pretty good the mix from there. It wasn't too bad. I guess the live stream mix, and I actually watched it yesterday, the live stream mix was pretty crappy at the beginning. It sounded fine.
It sounded fine in person, but like the actual recording was a little weird.
Right. And I explained to someone too, when I go to a live show, I don't listen, I experience. Generally, the studio track is running in my head, but I'm still hearing what's going on in the live position or in the live setting. Unless it's some glaring mistake or screw up, I generally don't detect those because I'm concentrating on the experience. I make sure I clap when I'm supposed to. I go, hey, bounce when I'm supposed to bounce. That's what I'm doing, because I want to make sure I give 100% to them, and because that's what they're giving back, is when I return the favor.
It's always after the fact when you play it back and you're like, oh, there was a mistake there. I didn't even realize. It's always after the fact. Even as musicians playing, like you don't realize sometimes there's some mistakes you think that you made, and it's the reverse, and you're like, oh, I played that fine. Like that happens all the time. In like vice versa, it's kind of interesting. Was there any like standout moments? Your top standout moment of the show you want to talk about?
Ooh, there were several times, because my little section of the row was Joseph Phillip, myself, and then Richard Hogan. If you saw some of the MAID News Network stuff, Richard Hogan was the guy that did all 14 shows for the US tour last
Oh,
year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Aftershock.
That was a good interview. Good
He's
interview.
a cool guy. Had what did he had dinner with him in Chicago. He's a super nice guy.
Richard's great. Yeah, he flew in the day of, and I was going to pick him up from the airport when I was thinking I was going to get there at noon, and then when plans changed, he got in about 10. He Ubered over. He got there about 11:30, and call it shady, call it whatever you want. But I brought 3 lawn chairs, one for me, one for Joseph, and one for him. So I just bought our real estate with the 3 lawn chairs. So when he got there, he had one of the chairs. So was he technically at his spot in line? No, but we got in, we saw the show, and then all 3 of us gave our rail spots to, like me, I returned it to the girl, and then the rest of us gave it to the girls who were around us so they could experience it. Like Richard gave his to some woman who flew in from Japan for it. So
Yeah, that's really
definitely.
nice of you guys, and that was nice of them. Like recognizing, like, hey,
100%.
you guys are BAND-MAID fans. Let's let you go up. Now, I'm assuming you stayed for the Last Rockstars, and right, you just. I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that?
After
How
the show.
how was that part of it?
So they were good. I didn't really answer your other question before. The stuff that stood out for me was because
Gotcha.
you're dead in front of Akane, and she knows. I think she recognized all 3 of us. Me because my dumbass bald head and then my Misa shirt. Several times she looked over us and smiled because we're going nuts for her, and she was enjoying it. But I think the standout was, my head's not working today. Endless Story. Wasn't expecting Endless Story. I mean, it takes, well, no pun intended. It takes balls to play a song like that, a crowd participation song in a setting like that where nobody knows you for the most part. But I'll tell you what, I heard people singing from where we were at up front, and
Nice.
they killed it. And Psyche recognized it too, because there's like, I think it was an Endless Story. There's some part she like thumped her chest like thank you, and then at the end of the song said thank you so much. So she
Thank you
heard
so
it.
much.
Appreciated
Yeah.
it.
Oh, that's so cool.
So do you think? Yeah, I'm sorry, I completely missed that. I was like, type something to wave real quick. I was like, man, I totally thought you said it, but
Sorry, is my microphone okay now?
it's still pretty loud. But don't I'll edit it afterwards. What was I gonna say was so when you watch the BAND-MAID, we'll keep on BAND-MAID here for a second, but the overall experience, do you think they got more fans from that show? Did you feel anybody come up to you, or did anyone say like, oh man, I never heard them before, anything like that?
Right. So I just recorded a video this morning that's going to go live tomorrow at 7 a.m. on our channel. And I went back and I watched the recording, the live stream recording, and the chat box was still up. So I scrolled all the way back to the beginning and screen grabbed a bunch of chat posts in there that everybody's like, who are these girls? Wow, I've never heard of these before. One girl was like, and it's mostly women, which is extra cool that are making these comments. And one was like, during From Now On, she's like, I've only heard 30 seconds of these and I already love them. 30 seconds of them, I already love them.
Awesome.
Nice.
So you can see that video tomorrow. I go through all the chat. I saw Ryan was in there chatting. Somebody requested Chemical Reaction.
Just because it's a good song.
Yeah, and we
but
know
no,
how
a lot
much
of
Champ
that-
loves it. We need to make sure it gets played, you know.
But inside the venue, yeah, there was a lot of chatter. There was like, wow. Like one of the guys I was talking to, he was just went to the restroom after the BAND-MAID set, and guys in there like, that was crazy. Who are these girls? They're amazing. But there was a lot of that. And if you get to go back and watch the live stream after From Now On, you hear cheers, and at the end of each song, it's more and more and more. And by the end of Choose Me, that was another one I was expecting. That was a good way to close it out. Lots of love for them. So I know for a fact they made new fans. And we did a video with a girl who saw them in New York and came out here and was already in the bag for BAND-MAID. If you haven't seen that video, watch that live stream. That's a good one too.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
That's
really
so
cool.
great to
So
hear.
that's the whole point, right? That's like the whole idea is like, you know, get them in front of more faces. Now maybe the future BAND-MAID shows won't be Sausage Fest, but
this definitely will balance it out a little bit for sure. Definitely a lot of new female fans.
that's
Nice.
awesome. That's
I
really
feel like
cool.
that's super important too. Like I don't know if I'm right about this. I don't know how the demographics work or anything like that, but I feel like as an all-female group, it would be really cool if they had a large female following, you know, so that the especially the younger female generation that can just like share it with each other and kind of get that female empowerment part of it going down also, because you know their whole thing is like world domination, you know, so it's like, you know, we as, you know, classic rock fans and stuff, we acknowledge the talent right away, you know, so we don't, you know, if they could be 4 Japanese girls, they could be 5, you know, old Indian dudes, you know, I like the music regardless, but I feel like it's probably really important to some of those younger women to have like the ability to idolize this, you know, we've had a lot of that growing up, you know, for ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to actually get them to have something like that in the rock world as opposed to in the pop world.
Exactly. I know. I think about that with Rosie. Like, she's not a huge rock fan, but I do wonder, like, if she grew up with a band like this to look up to, if it would be different, you know?
Right? Yeah. It's like all those. I think about like the girls that talk about like Barbie, for example, you know, and how Barbie was just a white chick forever, and a lot of other females couldn't relate to it, didn't really necessarily want to play with the white Barbie all the time, wished some of them looked like them, you know what I mean? And I think about that whole concept, and it's like that could apply the same way with this, you know. I would love to have this younger female generation have them to look up to and think, damn, they can they're brutal, I want to be brutal like them.
Yeah, and what you're describing is what we heard with Kane and now from Maximum the Hormone and Tamu from Nemophila, same thing, where we didn't know women could play like that on drums, and inspired them to go do it. So yeah, if we more eyes on them by you know, younger girls that are interested in guitar, and they see somebody, just like you're saying, they see somebody just tearing it up and enjoying it, and the crowd response, it's just better for music in general.
Especially with music where it can inspire you to learn a new
good
craft,
good music with a good freaking point to it, you know. That's just a win-win.
Catchy and technical.
Yeah.
So
that was the thing. Like, that blend is so rare.
That's why I love them.
So for the Last Rockstars, they came on. You know, we had heard the song that we heard. I didn't really enjoy that song as much. I'm not sure how you felt about the studio recording, and I was curious what you thought about the Last Rockstar, seeing them live after maybe hearing that studio recording going into that show.
Right. So, like I said, after the show, we bounced out and gave up our rail spots, and I'm extra glad we did, because they started like 45 minutes late because of technical difficulties.
Oh, okay.
Standing at the rail for like another, God, after BAND-MAID, it would have been another 3 hours of just standing there. Yeah. That would have been brutal after being outside all day. And just as a side note, I started working out just at the beginning of last week, and I did legs. I did legs on Wednesday. So
no.
Just standing up on Friday, I'm like,
you should have waited till after, man.
Well, it's good.
It's hard enough to stand that long, even when you're not already sore.
Yeah.
That's good. You reinforce your leg muscles. You know, you just gave him an extra workout day.
Maybe if he started a week earlier and his legs got used to it, but he was basically like, you were like, I hate you, legs, and I'm gonna make sure you know I hate you.
Yeah. This is why I do legs every day. That's exactly why.
Is that true? Do you do legs
I
every
do
day?
legs every day. Every day.
Wow, look at you. Good for you, Al.
So I never get sore. I
don't think I've ever done legs in my life.
But to the question, so I heard the song and I'm like, okay. It just seemed we're proclaiming we are the rock stars.
Yeah.
And that whatever that whatever that little intro. But
Diggity dog.
Right. I'm gonna tell you.
I love that you've kept that in your brain, Wave.
We went over to the side, and at that point I am gassed, because I put 2 hours worth of energy from a full BAND-MAID set into 20 minutes, and I'm already been in line for 12 and a half hours. I am gassed. We go over to the side. But when they started, say whatever you want about those guys, they are world-class performers, and
Rock
they
stars.
went, they're rock stars. They went out there and crushed it. Even that song was so good live, and they had pyro and lasers and smoke and confetti cannons and stuff toward the end. It was a full-blown, like, not a stadium, but certainly like an arena style show for 3,000 people. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's hard to think of 3,000 people as being intimate, but when you compare it to what that show was designed for, it really, really was.
Yeah.
Even from the side, it was
Yeah.
really cool to experience.
Mm.
My one thing that I wasn't super hot on was kind of like the middle section of the concert. There was a whole lot of wankery. Everybody, did their solos, and it seemed to go on a little longer, but it felt more like, after a few minutes, it felt more like, okay, we're just trying to fill out a show as
Pad
opposed
time.
to a little bit. Yeah. It felt a little
You'd
like
think
that.
they have so much material to work with. It would be hard to not have a
Yeah,
really
they've got
long
like
show.
5 bands that they could pull songs from.
And they pulled classics from each band, but there was a lot of that just solo time. And they actually opened the show with that "We Are the Rock Stars" song, and they closed it with it too. I don't even know what the title of it is. That what it's called?
I don't know.
It's called the Last Rockstars.
Yeah,
I think.
it's the name of the band.
Yeah, they opened and closed it with that song.
Okay.
I get
I've
it.
never
It's
been
like
to
the
a show where
opener-
that's happened.
It's like the opener and closer. I get it, because there's been some albums I listen to. They have like the same motif for the song, and then they end the album with that song. But it's normally slightly different. But I don't. Did they change it up at least, or at the
No,
end?
it was the exact same song, but
Oh.
they, but at that point it was a bookend from the front end. I'm like, oh, this is
Right.
kind of cool. By the end of the song, I'm like, I'm really digging these guys. So I
Mm.
appreciated getting that song again, because it was that now that energy is there. I'm exhausted at this point, but I
Yeah.
was really by that time I was really feeling it. So I'm not mad about them doing that again. It was actually pretty cool.
Right on.
That's awesome. Did they bring out the girls at this show?
You know what? They didn't. We were hoping, but they did not. But there's a lot of stuff out there. Some pictures where during the Last Rockstars, they actually came out onto the floor, and it was the
Yeah, I
exact
saw some of
opposite. Yeah, exact opposite side from where we were standing watching.
Oh,
But they were on the floor watching, and then at some point they moved upstairs to the VIP balcony in some little glassed off area, and there were some pretty heavy hitters. Gene Simmons was there because he's friends with Yoshiki.
Oh, okay.
Yoshiki shouted
Yep.
him out. And then there was 2 other guys who were huge in the Japanese music scene who were also there. I don't know the names off the top of my head. Peter talked about them somewhere. Or
like
somebody
up in the
mentioned
VIP.
That's
Yeah.
super exciting, man. Just the fact that all of them were there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just in that
Seeing BAND-MAID.
seeing BAND-MAID, yeah, that's crazy. And I wonder
How
if we'll
did-
get any articles or anything from them, because I know Gene Simmons always talks about bands that he sees normally, stuff like that. So it'd be interesting if he brings up BAND-MAID. But wait, go ahead.
Mm. Oh, that was
Oh.
me. Sorry.
Oh,
I was just gonna ask, how did the crowd respond to the middle section that you said was kind of eh? Did the rest of the crowd seem like they were feeling the solo stuff, or were they in the same spot as you?
So here's the truth. After the first few songs, I went over by one of the bars and I just sat against the wall, and I actually fell asleep for like a minute. And security came over to me like 3 times, like, "Hey, are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." I'm tired, man.
I'm now gonna cut out the part where you say the Last Rockstars, clip right to that I fell asleep for a minute, and use it as a short. No, I was kidding.
That's a good title. SJ fell asleep at the Last Rockstars.
Oh,
That was thank you for that sound bite. No, I was kidding.
it's all
It's
good.
so funny that you say that, though, man. The amount of times that I've fallen asleep at shows is uncountable. So I feel you, bro.
How?
When I'm
How
tired,
do you
I
fall
get-
asleep at a show?
Dude, I can be
Tired,
driving
man.
down the freeway at full freeway speed and nod off. When my body says it's
Please
fucking
don't
time
do
to
that,
sleep,
though. Try
No, I
not
get-
to do that.
obviously I try not to. I'm just saying that when I'm tired, I'm tired.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't for like I said, it was like I'm sitting against the wall relaxing.
Yeah. You catch yourself. It's like that. It's that you're leaning on the desk while you're in class
Right.
mode, and right before your head hits the desk, you go, "Oh shit, I'm here still learning shit."
That's
it's
what
funny.
happened to me in Boston when we were trying to hang out. I just couldn't handle it anymore. Just shut down.
You need what you guys need to do is turn the alcohol into fuel, and then it gives you energy.
Oh, it does the opposite for me.
Most
my
people
dude.
don't work like that.
It just gives me a headache.
Yeah. I do not drink at shows. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You drank with me at the Nemophila show.
It was at the end of the show, and you shoved
No.
it was okay.
It wasn't. It
Oh,
was
he's
there in
blaming
the
Alan
car.
already. You shoved it in my face.
I did not. You already had a couple, and then we started going like this to Nemophila, and I'm like, I got us a beer afterwards, and we chugged the beer and kept rocking out.
You know what? He's actually right.
You had to think about it. Every once in a while, you got to break your own philosophies, right? That was one of those nights. Alan, you know your camera's not on, right?
Oh no, I did not know that.
Okay,
It's probably in the recording, but just not on Zoom.
there we go. Just wanted to.
Yeah. So it's I normally don't. Okay. Let me clean this up a little
Except for Nemophila and Whiskey Go-Go.
I won't drink at a BAND-MAID show because if I'm on the rail and if I got to piss, I'm not giving up my rail spot.
That's
Fair.
So,
Exactly.
It's
That's why you bring empty bottles with you, and you just put them into your pants, and get the job done that way.
Dude, the biggest regret
do what you gotta
was
do.
when I went to see The Warning in Austin. I had the best seat possible. It wasn't at the rail, but it was like this little riser up front. You could tell everybody wanted it. And I had to piss really bad. And I'm looking at my friend Alan. His name's Alan also. And I was like, dude, I have to go. And he's like, bro, you're never getting the spot back. I'm like, I know.
That's sad.
Sucks so bad.
Well, also at Nemo though, we were sitting at a $600 table, and I
Yeah.
could get up and piss all I want. It was a private table.
That's true. That's true. That is very
And again,
true.
that was Michael Barber. Michael Barber's a freaking animal. He bought 6% of the entire venue, including 2 $600 tables and 4 $300 2-seat tables upstairs.
Damn.
He goes, I want to make sure that it sells out, and he took it, and he wasn't kidding.
Yeah, that was nuts. Yeah, there was another guy that was there, right? He's like, he came up to me like, "Hey, you seem like important. Like, you can have this table." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, he was a cool guy. Yeah, he was a table right next to us.
He was a table right.
So we had,
next to us.
we had 2 $600 tables, and we were like living the dream, just hanging out there, eating food, watching the show. And Alan was pretty liquored up. He spilled half. You had half a beer because I ended up wearing the other half.
Yeah, I was blasted. And even furthermore afterwards, like I saw some pictures. I'm like, I don't even know how I functioned. Like, I don't even remember who I ate with. I just remember taking tons of pictures with people. And then all of a sudden I was eating a pizza, and then I couldn't eat pizza.
Can we turn this back for a second? You guys got food while you were watching the show?
Oh yeah.
That I've never done that before.
Dude,
that
it was
sounds
amazing.
Like the best show ever.
This is a $600. It was a $600 table with wait service.
Holy crap! I've never been to a show with tables before.
I didn't want to stand all the time, and I brought my friend and her friend with us, and I'm like, you know what? One of these tables over here, like, that's $100 a person. I'm like,
wow.
You know what? Let's do it.
Me and Ryan both.
Sure. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna sit, have some food, chill out.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. I want that so badly.
Done by that.
Damn, Americans are lazy.
I was eating chicken strips during that Chicago show.
It's my 6th show.
Bruh, that's so cool. Do they just not do that like in Jersey and New York, or am I just so poor that I didn't know that they did that in these places?
If you show up beforehand and get to look around, you can see where there's
it was the
like
House
that.
of Blues in Chicago. They have like their special venue VIP thing.
Dude, that place is crazy. There's like rooms upon rooms and stairways going to other rooms and like bars and shit hidden behind the.
With the seat, we got like access to this VIP lounge bar, and it was like how would you describe that?
Like a freaking hookah lounge, man. And it's all quiet, smells like incense, and there's all like you can't really see the show from here, but it was like nice.
The 5 of us and then one other guy.
Yeah.
That's like my dream come true, bro.
I don't belong here.
So
a show for introverts.
After the concert, what happened afterwards? Was there any after party? Did you guys get together? I know during the tour, there's like felt like there's a party after every single concert. So how did that happen? Did you guys meet up, like all the BAND-MAID fans or anything like that?
You know, a bunch of the guys went out, but I was smoked at that point. Like I said, I got up at 3:30. I'm like, I just want to go home.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man.
But on the way out, though, the big flower arrangement was at the girls had just left. The flower arrangement was at the back door, and I went to the security. I'm like, hey, can I take a picture with that thing? I said, I actually paid for it. I'll show you the receipt.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, go ahead, guys. He's like, no problem. And I kick myself right now. I should have yanked one of the blue roses out of it, kept it. I totally could have did that, and I just, but yeah, I got a picture with it afterwards. Yeah.
Do you think?
Brain.
I mean, that was the sad thing that I was thinking about. That whole thing that I was telling Peter is like, man, I would have loved to see Psyche's reaction, because that's like the best part of, like, I don't know, the gift giving is like just seeing their reaction to it. You know, like it's but do you think she'll post a picture with it, or do you think it'll? Do you think she got it at least? I hope she got it.
She better have gotten it, man, because that was $1,500.
Yeah.
But see, with Miku is the one who's like out there with all that stuff, and Peter made the point that Miku's the one who is very social media savvy, where the other ones kind of regurgitate stuff that the production or that the management company gives them, a lot of that type of stuff. But
that must be nice.
More conscious.
Yeah,
If it isn't sneakers or trains, Psyche's probably not posting it.
I'm sure she got it. What now? Was it given to her before the show or after?
It would have been before, because the delivery is supposed to be 1 to 3, and I was going to try to time it so I could take pictures of it. But I look at my phone at 11:30. It's like, your flower order was just delivered. I'm like, fuck, missed it. But yeah, no, they made it inside, because one of the security guards working in the back, super awesome chick. She was out there all day long, kind of like one of in charge of the back parking lot, the backstage, and the entry area. Was super nice to us. She talked to us whenever we had questions. She even let us look at the itinerary for the evening, so we know exactly when everything was supposed to happen. And we spread that around the line so people understood what they were waiting and how that was going to go. Just real cool. It was a good day.
Yeah, I wonder if the security guard was the one that handed it off. If you could like ask the security guard, hey, what did they think? You know, like the person that passed it to, or the delivery person. You should find out who the delivery person was. Maybe they gave it to him. Maybe not though. Probably gave it to the security guard.
They drop that stuff off at the door, and then someone takes it inside. I'm going to be really pissed if I see a picture of Yoshiki holding a bottle of Dom Perignon backstage.
Thanks for the bottle.
Hey, he's one of the last rock stars. Got that bottle.
It would be kind of funny if he showed up wearing like a flower thing around his neck at the next show.
All blue roses.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like the overall experience of the Last Rockstars was a good one then. Like, they were much better than anticipated. And that's what I feel about a lot of bands. Sometimes when you hear them, you're like, it sounds good, but I'm not sure. Live performance sometimes is what really makes them stand out. I know people say, like, you shouldn't have to go to see them live, like, to enjoy their music, but some bands are just live bands. And I always call back to Hatebreed was one of those first bands when I first realized that is the case, because I remember hating that band. I saw them live. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. You know what I mean? So that's cool that at least the live performance was like something to behold and to be there for. And I'm glad you still enjoyed it, and it helped the girls in the long term. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's like if you combine those guys, it's over 100 years worth of on stage performing.
Yeah. They're professionals. They are
They're
pros.
true. They're 3-decade-long professionals. You know, there's not that many people out there that can say that anymore.
Right.
Yeah. That's a really good point. Well, to end this off, is there anything you want to say? Anything that we didn't get to that you want to mention or talk about?
Or promote?
Well, later on this week, we're launching our merch line. So we did a little bit thing for that. So this is our banner shirt. Those will be up here soon.
Very nice, very nice.
The Dawn Patrol designs are ready. Those will probably launch later in the week. Those look really cool. So tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. in the video I did for the live stream recap, right at the very end, I pop in a real few seconds of what those look like, and then I think those are going to be good for us. And just watch our channel. Oh, and I know you guys have talked about them before. I don't find new music very often, but Sai Sega is freaking amazing.
Yeah, dude.
That band scratches an itch I didn't even know I had.
Yeah,
I
they're
checked them
pretty
out a
freaking
while
cool.
because of Ryan. Ryan showed them to me, and then we realized that we actually heard them probably a year ago, but we kind of forgot a little bit. They're really
I
good.
gotta check them out.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat band. It'll be neat to see where they go.
Right
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Well, that's all I got, guys.
That.
All right,
All
man.
I'm getting is sausage.
Well, thank
When
you.
I type I say
We'll help Wave later.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Literally.
Well, thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. I am going to see you in March at the Nem and Phil show. So Eric helped me out. So
awesome.
It looks like Eric's going too. So like I think the whole band's going. So that'll be
I'll
exciting.
be there too.
Cool.
Ryan's going to be there. It's going to be awesome. We should do a show when we're out there too. I think that'd be fun. Talk about the concert, Nem and Phil concert would be a blast, I think. So
You're coming to LA, Ryan?
Texas.
you said that you're going to Nem and
I'm
Phil in
doing-
Texas, right?
Who, me? Oh,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to LA.
Oh, I thought you meant
we
the
won't see you
Texas one. I guess we won't see you there.
Is that sold out yet?
I could actually get to LA. LA is actually easier for me to get to than Dallas because there's a one-way flight and it's really cheap. It's like $100 or something like that round trip because you could do Southwest. But like the Dallas is $400. So Eric and I decided to drive. He's like, I got my car. We can take it. I'm like, cool. So
Right on.
I don't know in LA, but. All right, then. All right, we'll end it there, guys. You guys have any last questions? Ryan, Wave, Champ?
Nope.
No, just it was nice to talk to you, man.
Yeah, good
All
talk
right.
to you.
About
guys.
time.
Yeah, thank you for
Hope to
coming
have
on.
you on again soon.
Right on.
Yeah,
Nice meeting you
Next
guys.
time we'll have the internet working.
It's all good. We'll still get a lot of interactions from everyone. Everyone's going to love this podcast. I'll get up right away.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See you, man. See you.
Enjoy the rest of the show, guys. Take